Bazley has been waived by the Brooklyn Nets. He does have ties to Troy Weaver, another one of those Oklahoma City guys. I doubt he becomes a Detroit Piston. I have done a complete 180 since about 3 days ago when I tweeted out that the Pistons should take a look. His best season came in 2020, 2021, where he started 55 games for the Thunder. He averaged 14, 7, and 2, shooting 40% from the field, 29% from the three-point line, and 70% from the free throw line. His last 43 games, most of his minutes have come at the 5 spot, and he's only like 6'8", 205 pounds, which is crazy. I just don't see him being a Piston. There's not a lot to love about his game. He was one of the, I think, a top 25 recruit. He's a 5-star recruit on all of the big recruiting services. If you know his story, he decided not to go to college. He initially signed to play in the G League, but then he decided to pull his name out of the G League and signed an internship with New Balance, and he got like $1 million doing that. A lot of talent, but again, no elite skill. So I would have to pass on him if I'm the Detroit Pistons. But what are your guys' thoughts on Darius Bazley?
What are you going to add?
It's funny because I was scrubbing his Instagram, and in July, he had posted a picture of himself in a Barry Sanders jersey. And I'm like, okay. That was in July. And I know some people thought it was recent. But Lance, I'm gonna have to actually disagree with you.
Okay.
If you watch Darius Bazley, and the Pistons want to just think it's 1990 and do this 2 big lineup, Darius Bazley started his career at, I want to say, power forward with OKC, where he had a good rookie season. And the second season, he just kind of doubled his averages across the board, but kind of struggled his third season. And the reason why I'm going to disagree with you is, you know who he got playing time over in Phoenix?
I want to say probably, and actually I don't know. I'm not even going to guess.
DeAndre Ayton. So he played with the Suns for 7 games, and Monty Williams was playing him at starting center over DeAndre Ayton. And we all know, like, those two obviously don't like each other. They don't see eye to eye. But if you watched him in the short time in Phoenix, there's something there. He's great at grabbing rebounds. He's kind of an underrated passer. And I think the 3-point shot, even though it's not knocked down in OKC, he shot 40% and 25% with Phoenix. I think if you just want to take a low-end flyer on a guy as a rotational piece, possibly, you never know with injuries, especially with the Pistons, I wouldn't be mad at it. It's not like we're going to be paying this guy a whole lot of money. You're first on the waiver wire list because you were the worst team in basketball last year. I think Darius Bazley, to me, would be a solid pickup, because I don't really think there's going to be a whole lot of guys out on the waiver wire that, the Pistons fans are going to be like, oh, we got to get this guy, because, I mean, like I said, most of these guys are probably going to be in the G League or in Europe. I mean, if you would have told me Harry Giles beat Bazley out as a backup center, I would have laughed at you in the summer, but here we are.
I'll keep mine real short and sweet. The Pistons were 17-65 last year. They now have a new coach in Monty Williams. If Bazley is a guy that he wants to bring in and believes that can be a contributor in some shape or fashion, and the guy that already knows his system, knows what he likes, knows what the expectation from Monty is going to be, I would say if it's low risk, high reward if it works out. And then again, you could always move them. You can always get rid of them if it does not work out. So I mean, if Monty pushes for it and sees that there's a spot for him, I'll say why not.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I would listen. Up until this moment, I have been talking a lot about Darius Bazley, and I've just changed my tune recently. A couple of days. So I'm honestly not surprised people are disagree. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm glad he still has fans. I just don't know if there's anything there anymore. And I don't know. I'd rather have the Pistons figured out than take more projects. But hey, if he comes to Detroit, I'll root for him. I got no problem with it.
It's funny. I was actually looking up his highlights this week on YouTube, and the first highlight that comes up is him postering Isaiah Stewart on the dunk during the COVID season. And I was like, okay, yeah, I love him already. Like, I think there's something there though. I mean, like Kory said, low risk, high reward. I mean, I just don't really believe in the James Wiseman and the Marvin Bagley experience. Like I've said it in our group chat, like we need a defensive center. Like the drop off between Duren and when Duren comes out of the game, we both know Bagley. Nothing against Wiseman. He has potential. He has the tools, but I've told you, Lance, I said he's 7'1", but he rebounds like he's my height. Like he just cannot rebound the basketball. I don't get it. It's just maybe it's just he's been taller than everyone throughout his career, and he hasn't really had to like really grab rebounds. But I mean, there's just such a drop off I've noticed in the preseason where like Duren's in there, defense looks great. He comes out, gets foul trouble. The defense just looks terrible from the backup center spot.
And I will say this. When they were playing against the Mavs in that last game, there was just like no resistance there was outside when Duren was not in the game, there was nobody out there really contesting shots the way that fans would probably like. It was just like guys were getting to the rim with ease.
Yeah, it's just that's Bagley. That's kind of like Bagley's MO. Like we know he's not a lockdown defender, but there are plays where like he just watches guys go by him to the rim. Like he's just like, oh, I thought you got him. It's just like I talked to a Sacramento Kings beat reporter when we traded for him. He's like, you guys are gonna hate him defensively. You're gonna want him out of town. He does not play defense and he doesn't even try. And it's just like
that's why when we were talking about where I saw from him, I said I would like him just playing alongside Duren, just so okay, at least I have that size in the front court and the guy that can be a playmaker in that position. But if I had to pick, then I would put Wiseman as the backup center. But to the point, they still need to improve defensively in that regard, because when Duren does hit the bench, there is a drop off.